According to the Labor Department, 4 million people quit their job in the month of April alone. My name is Darius.
And I'm Carmen. This is some juicy information. 4 million people. I cannot believe that the great resignation is upon us.
Right. Now, what happened is because of the pandemic, as the pandemic softens up, people are realizing that they now have to go to work, and they're rethinking that. So instead of going back to work, they're throwing up the deuces. Because people don't want to sit in traffic. People don't want to sit in the office, because when you sit in the office, when you were working, how productive were you in the office? Percentages. I know that I was only about 20% productive when I was an engineer.
Yeah, you can get all your work done well before lunch.
Yeah, and there's even some people that you work with, they got their master's degrees while at work.
Yep.
Now, that's not going to change working remotely, but it allows people to have more work-life balance. And one of the reasons why people are quitting their job is because they have the ability to work remotely, or they're demanding that they work remotely. And that's it. People are demanding change by their employers.
And I really think what the crisis or the pandemic really did was teach people the importance of work-life balance. Because
put things in perspective, right?
It put things into hella perspective. Even for us, we work from home regardless of the pandemic or not. And it just made us realize, like, wait a second, let's take a moment and focus on family time.
Yeah.
And let's take a moment and go outside, go on a walk, go figure. The whole neighborhood's walking outside now. But it really just put things into perspective of people recognizing what is the most important to them. And you don't understand that when you're fighting traffic, when you are working 8 to 5, when you're frustrated and thinking about work and you're upset with your boss or your coworkers, you can't take a moment and think about yourself or even reflect on your family because you just have so many other things going on.
Yeah.
But when you're forced to work from home in your pajamas, congratulations. Now all of a sudden you start realizing, like, okay, I think I like doing this, or not, because there's a lot of marriages that ended because of the pandemic too.
You're spending a lot of time with your significant other. It's changed some things.
It does change some things, but again, what I'm trying to say is perspective. This all put things into perspective, and I really feel that the Great Resignation has come about because people are demanding more for themselves, and I'm just excited about this. I am so thrilled for people because our friends and family come to us and always talk about, hey, Darius and Carmen, how do you work from home? How do you make money? How does this whole thing work? And we know that people are interested in becoming their own boss and creating side hustles and creating their own income, but either they just don't know how to do it or have the will to do it. But now with this pandemic, it's made people realize that maybe I don't want to go back to the office. Maybe I don't really like what I'm doing, and I was just pacifying whatever it was that I was trying to do in the meantime so that I could create some sort of income.
Now, here's some perspective though. But the people that are quitting their jobs and able to find other means of income are people that earn over $100,000. So the people that make $40,000, they don't have they're not as
they don't have much
flexibility to be able to find different employment. So that they can have that type of work-life balance.
That's a really amazing statistic that we found online, where it was literally talking about those who make six figures have the ability to work from home. More of them have the ability to work from home than those who make $40,000. So if or less. So
they have the ability to demand that from their employers, that they want to work from home moving forward.
So comment below. Let us know what you think about that. I think that's totally unfair. Just as far as understanding the classism that we live in, looking at lower income versus higher income earners, how there's more flexibility with those who make more income than not.
Yeah. Now I feel like we're kind of late to the party as Americans, because in other countries, people already, employers and employees alike, understand the difference between work-life balance and what it really means to work and why you're working.
Our culture is different.
Our culture is different. Why do you think that's the case? And do you think this is something that's going to be around for some time? Do you think this is the new culture, the new normal?
That's a good question.
It's hard to say right now because we're reacting based on something that's currently just started.
I think it's going to be a trend. I think this is all going to gloss over because of the American culture, which is we live to work, as opposed to work to live in other cultures. And although the pandemic has taught us otherwise, I personally think that this is just going to be a little trend, and we'll be back to the work hogs that we are back in 2023, maybe.
Well, I have a different perspective. I don't think so, because prior to the pandemic, I think a lot of people are going to lose their jobs anyway to automation.
Ooh. Technology.
Technology. I think it was already coming. What happened is this situation just sped things up to where people were able to make the decision before somebody else made the decision for them. Because I know from as an engineer, what my job is to take 10 people and turn it into a job for 3 people. Yeah. So if we continued on that cycle and technology continues to improve, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs anyway due to technology.
Yeah. So then they'll be forced to figure it out.
Yeah, they would have been forced to figure it out.
It's just happening sooner.
Now, what's interesting is in April, 4 million people quit their jobs. 740,000 of those people came from the hotel, restaurant, and bar industry.
Wow.
And theme parks. So that's what we've seen when going to different restaurants now is we don't have waiters. We have this little thing where you can scan on a table and get your menu, and you can order from the app for the restaurant. Yeah. So that's technology right there.
You're right.
That instead of replacing some of those people, what they did is they leveraged technology so they don't have to have as many people.
Yeah. Now, is that innovative? Yeah, it's hella innovative.
It's innovative,
or is it sad? I don't really know the question to ask.
I think there has to be a balance. The employers have to meet the situation that they're currently in, because they still have customers coming to get a certain product or service from them. Yeah. And they can't always say that, well, we don't have enough people to staff, so we have a supply issue. They can't keep saying that. No,
that they have to cover their butts at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And I was asking that question because when we went to a restaurant and we scanned, I actually enjoyed the new way of going to restaurants. But then at the same time, I felt bad because we have family members that are in the service industry. And I'm like, wow, this has literally replaced their job. And the people that they manage. So then I started feeling guilty, like, we're the servers, we're bringing them back. Because it was just really apparent to see how quickly technology can take over our jobs.
Yeah, I think another place is McDonald's. You see those kiosks that were up. That was up before the pandemic, and for some reason they don't seem to be working now. But at least in the McDonald's I went into. But there was already a transition because people were already demanding higher wages, higher minimum. What do you call it?
Minimum wage?
Minimum wage, higher minimum wage.
Yeah, that they were trying to increase.
They were trying to increase minimum wage. And what McDonald's did is they put kiosks there and they say, instead of hiring more, increasing minimum wage, we'll reduce the amount of people that we have here, increase minimum wage, and have them go through these kiosks.
Yeah, use technology.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting, I find, to put all this information together and then talk to the average person who maybe isn't in the service industry. Maybe, you work for some sort of firm, whatever it is. And what do you think is going on? So again, comment below. Let us know what you think this whole, the Great Resignation is all about. And what do you think is going to come from it? Do you think we'll go back to working like crazy, how we typically do with the American culture? Or do you think that maybe this is going to awaken us and make us realize the things that we need to prioritize?
Yeah. What I hope will happen is that we see a huge increase in small businesses.
Yes, well, that's already happening because we were at an all-time low for inventors, for business owners, and now you start to see that trending up.
Yeah.
Which is encouraging because I feel like as our society, especially coming from the United States, we have so many amazing resources and things at our fingertips that we just weren't taking advantage of. And it was because it was overshadowed by corporate America and the benefits and everything that we could be offered. So we stopped being creative. We stopped looking within ourselves and stopped going, oh, I can create these products and services, or I can do this, and just went back to working for someone else, which there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm just saying, empower yourself.
Right. So that paycheck that came every 2 weeks isn't as important anymore as it is your spending time with your family, your personal happiness. I've read a few articles where people have been so stressed at their jobs, so their hair was thinning out.
Ooh, yeah.
You don't want that. If you're going to be stressed out, you should be stressed out in your own business. And you may not have that check coming every 2 weeks, but you'll be fulfilled for the fact that you do have money coming in, and you'll build up to that point to where you'll make more money working for yourself than you would working a 9 to 5, because you don't have to split it with 1,000 people.
Good point. Very good point when you say that. So what I want to do, if I may pivot just slightly really quickly, is we talk about employment being low. We talk about everyone quitting because they're recognizing their own value. So I just want to start talking to the Wealth Nation audience. You know, do you recognize your own value? Are you one of these individuals that's raising your hand and saying, I quit too, because you demand more from your life? And if you do, we congratulate you, because what we are always talking about is owning your own lifestyle. And it's not just from life insurance, which we talk about. It's all about ownership and making sure that you're taking action and taking ownership for every facet of your life.
Right.
And so it's important for us to make sure that now that you are looking at what you're trying to do for yourself personally, you also have to make sure that you have your finances in place. So definitely make sure that you click on the link below if you are interested in learning how to be a part of the Wealth Nation community. We would love to have one of our agents serve you so that you can learn how to own your own lifestyle when it comes to your finances.
Right. And we also talk about on our channel is life insurance, personal finance, and just owning your own lifestyle. So make sure you click that subscribe button so that you can get up-to-date videos whenever we post them.
Exactly. So now let's continue to talk about ownership. Let's talk about value. And just, we want to remind you, and again, we're not trying to get everybody to go work for themselves. We're just trying to get everyone to understand their own value. If someone is paying you a paycheck or offering you anything, then it's because they see value in you. They see that whatever knowledge you have is valuable and it's going to help their business. And so what you also need to do is try to figure out that knowledge that you're sitting on, can you do something with that as well for yourself so that you don't have to put a cap on your own income. I know Darius and I did it time and time again. We kept putting a cap on our own income, and we were fearful of stepping out and doing our own thing for years until we just got sick and tired of being sick and tired.
And I think it's a mindset also, because I think we still put a cap on our income. That's the reason why we don't have $1 billion right now. It's because we put a cap on it, and we make decisions based on the experiences that we've had. Now, if you want to increase the amount of income, you have to have more experiences, and the more experiences you have, the more you'll be able to maneuver in this world of finance, this world of working, this world of everything, violence, everything that you come across is an experience that will help you become a better version of yourself, a better person.
And it's okay to think that you're crazy, or maybe that you're out on a limb by yourself. You're not. There's a bunch of us weirdos around, who demand more for themselves and who want more for their family.
Everybody's a weirdo because everybody's an individual.
Exactly.
And until we step into that,
embrace it.
Well, yeah, we need to embrace it, because what we'll continue to do is going with the herd. And if we have that herd mentality, then whoever's having the worst day, that's what's going to spread to the rest of the herd.
So it's just something to think about, because I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and she is starting to have some of these thoughts of, should I be wanting more? She was feeling guilty for having these thoughts. And I was just continuing to empower her that, no, if you're starting to have these thoughts, embrace them, write it down, start journaling, meditate on it, whatever it is, because for whatever reason, your mind is telling you something and you need to start listening to it. And really what it is we've been suppressed of our own creativity for so long that now maybe some of those creative itches are coming back, and you need to embrace them.
Yeah, what happened is you spent some time at home in your own four walls, and your mind started to bring those thoughts to the forefront of what you should be doing with yourself.
And it's really what we experienced, I would say, once we actually left corporate America. We realized that we were creative individuals. We knew that we always were, but we weren't able to flex some of those muscles that we did before in corporate America, because we had to live within a certain box.
Yeah, because we were getting paid a paycheck.
Yeah. And right now it's a completely different aspect, because now you're in control. We have ownership of everything that we're doing, and it makes it nice to be creative and come up with ideas and fresh perspectives and solicit other people to help along the journey. So always embrace whatever it is that you're thinking about, good, bad, or indifferent. Just think about it, ponder on it, journal on it, and talk to other like-minded individuals if you're starting to feel some of these feelings.
We need you to have different thoughts about things, because innovation is what keeps this whole thing going, this whole cycle going. Our economy, everything that we know know and love comes from innovation, and you could be the one that
you could be the next thing
that does that.
Exactly. And then also don't be intimidated by market saturation. That's another thing that we thought about as getting started. We know business owners that's something that comes up. People always say, oh, the market is saturated, and there's no such thing. All that means is there is plenty demand out there for you, and you could be the next big thing that shifts the market.
And whatever industry you're in.
Yeah, whatever industry. So if there is no market, then you should start asking your question if there's even demand for it.
Right.
So what I want to make sure that everyone does, again, with Wealth Nation, we want to empower everyone. You know this information, the Great Resignation. What are you doing about it? The next thing you should be thinking about is creating passive income. Because if you recognize your value and you said, man, I need to start making money, let's start making our money work for us, which creates a whole nother light of freedom. So go ahead and check out our next video where we teach you how to make passive income online.
And remember to own your own lifestyle.
Or someone else will.